Fellow travelers, today we're sharing this Italy itinerary exactly as we did it on our last trip. It's just one of the thousands you could take. And it's meant to be just an idea for you to let your imagination run wild, making 1,000 changes according to your preferences. And it's just a simple contribution to everything you're surely researching before making your decision. The videos of each place are already uploaded on the channel, and this is the final touch. Lastly, I want to tell you that we did it from the beginning of September to the beginning of October, and it lasted 32 nights. Fellow travelers ready? Let's begin. Five days in Rome. We left Montevideo, had a layover in Madrid, and our destination was Rome. We booked a round-trip flight since we also rented a car after our days in Rome, and returned it in the same city at the end, so it wouldn't be more expensive for us. We dedicated 4 days to Rome at the beginning, and 2 more days at the end of the trip, so we assigned 6 nights in total. We started our tour of the city with a free tour, but the detailed itinerary for the city is in one of our videos, with a map and divided into 5 days. Because as I was saying, even though it was 6 nights, you know that if we subtract the arrival time, we only have 5 full days left. The main advice here in Rome is to get all your tickets in advance, because they usually sell out, especially if it's high season. There are an impressive number of booking sites for Italy. We got ours on the official websites, and if there weren't any available, or if we wanted guided tours, we used Civitatis or Get Your Guide. Since we've been using them since we started traveling, and we've never had any problems. Most of the tickets are at the same price as on the official websites, and you also get the added benefit of free cancellation in case your plans change. But always check both options and share. In these kinds of big cities, like Rome or Florence, we often choose to take guided tours of the places. We find it very interesting to go with a guide who gives us information about what we're seeing, so we don't miss any of the details. For Rome, there are some options for tourist passes to visit all the attractions, but since we haven't used them, I can't tell you if they work well. Tickets and tours in Rome, which I recommend booking in advance, because they are must-see places and can sell out. Colosseum, visit its interior with a regular ticket or with access to the arena and underground. It can also be a guided tour, and that's the one we chose. Vatican museums, don't miss the Sistine Chapel. In this case, you can also take a guided tour. Free tour of Rome. Booking is free, although later you'll have to decide how much to pay for the tour. I highly recommend them. They add a special touch to start getting to know the city. The Pantheon. I'll repeat, the Rome video covers all the attractions, not just these, with detailed information, prices, and locations. The accommodation we chose is listed in the description. It was very nice, right in front of the Parliament, and we paid €230 per night for the double room with breakfast. From here on, we followed the entire itinerary by car, but I'll include the details of public transportation for each route in the graphics. Four days in Naples, 230 kilometers. Our next stop was Naples, although before that, we would visit a place we hadn't seen yet, the Royal Palace of Caserta. That morning, we went to pick up the car at Termini. I'll leave a link in the description of where we rented ours. We paid €806 for 25 days. Remember that the days we were in Rome, the 4 at the beginning and the 2 at the end, we were without a car. But here, I have to tell you something that we discovered just a few days ago while uploading the videos from Italy. It's called Trajectus, and it's designed for us, Spanish-speaking travelers, who are going to take road trips and arrive at a rental car counter. And things get complicated for us, from the language barrier to making them understand that we have 1,000 suitcases, and therefore, we need a very large trunk in the car, because we travel across the ocean to spend an average of 20 days in Italy. Okay, it's our first time in Europe, and we need friendly and efficient service to help us make renting a car a pleasant experience. Let me tell you that they discovered our videos and contacted us to tell us about this wonderful project. Since we like to share real experiences and give you our opinion, we already have plans to use one of these cars. So this year we're going to try to use the service during a trip to show you the experience just as it is. But since I know many of you are already traveling to Italy in the coming months, I'll leave this here for you to check out. The options are vehicles for families, with space for suitcases, with the option to add a small cooler, mate, thermos, umbrella, and beach chairs. Anyway, those things we can't bring from our countries. Honestly, we love the idea, and we'll try it as soon as we can go back to Italy, which I think will be soon. I'll leave the website in the description so you can check out the vehicle options. There you'll find all the details about this, the measurements, the amount of space, and more. And I'll also leave a discount coupon that Trajectus is offering for our travel companions. We spent 4 days in Naples. In each of our videos, you can find the prices of the tickets and meals we had. It's just a reference, and obviously, you can do it with a different budget. Tickets or tours that I recommend booking in Naples, because those sites are must-sees. Free tour of Naples. Just like I said in Rome, I think it's a must. Make a reservation, it's free, but then you will have to leave a tip. And if you're not going to attend, remember to cancel to free up the spots so the guide isn't left waiting for you. Visit Pompeii. I also think it's a must-see if you're visiting Naples. Here in Naples, we do use a pass, the Campania Pass or the Naples Pass Campania. And the experience was very positive. This includes admission to Pompeii, Herculaneum, Mount Vesuvius, and the Royal Palace of Caserta. For everything I talk about, I leave links in the description and a special post on the blog. Out of the 4 days, we set aside one to go to Pisa. It's really worth it. We went by ferry. We have a special video on how to get there, rent bikes, what to see. In short, all the information you need to plan your visit. And on another day, we visited the ruins of Pompeii, Herculaneum, and climbed Mount Vesuvius. Remember that since we had a car, we optimized our time. Otherwise, it's best to choose just one of the sites. There are videos on the channel about the royal palace of Caserta, Procida, Pompeii, Herculaneum, and Mount Vesuvius. Speaking of road trips, the next one was one of the most beautiful we've ever done. We have 4 nights ahead of us on the Amalfi coast, 50 kilometers to Sorrento. We spent 4 nights on this coast, dividing them into 1 night in Sorrento, another in Positano, another in Amalfi, and the last one in Vietri sul Mare. We have a very comprehensive video with the entire route by car, parking lots, hotels, and meals. We planned to visit Capri, but the ferries were canceled that day due to strong winds. On average, we paid about €200 per night for accommodations, but in the video, it's broken down by city, since, for example, Positano is much more expensive than the rest. Anyway, I'll leave the links for each one in the description of this video, so you can check them out. The advice here on the Amalfi Coast would be not to leave your hotel bookings until the last minute. Because of the high prices, the earlier you book, the better deals you'll get. From Sorrento to Vietri sul Mare, it's a total of 52 kilometers along the coast, and we really enjoyed it. Thank you for the video! Throughout the entire journey, we stayed connected with Olafli's eSIM to have mobile data coverage the whole way. You get it for the exact number of days you need. In this case, it was the eSIM for Italy, but if you're going to visit more countries, you can get the eSIM for Europe, which we've used so many times. In both cases, the internet is unlimited, and you can share a certain amount of data per day with your companion. Thank you. Thank you. We keep using them on all our trips, and they're one of the things we always include in our travel budget, just like insurance. We'll talk more about that later. I'm leaving you a discount coupon for the eSIM. From Vietri, the last stop on this coast, we went to Matera. 1 night in Matera, 255 kilometers. It was important for us to leave from Vietri sul Mare to cover fewer kilometers and avoid the Amalfi Road that morning, since you can lose an unpredictable amount of time. And since we would only spend 1 night in Matera, it was important to arrive early. On this route, even though it was close to where we were, we had to skip Salerno. It's a shame, but on these trips, you have to make decisions about what to see and what not to see. You can't see everything, it's just too much, so you have to choose, okay, yes to this, no to that. I know it's hard, it's really complicated, both leaving places out and making sure your trip isn't too packed with places to visit. As we said, we arrived in Matera. Matera dazzles with its cave houses, its history, and the walk through those ancient streets that captivate you at every corner. It's a destination that's really worth it. We chose to stay here in a cave hotel. We paid €187 per night. I'm not going to explain each place in detail because we also have a special video about Matera with all the details. We were enjoying this night in Matera, for sure, and honestly, spending a couple of nights here is ideal. But like we said, we only had one night, and we were leaving early for the Puglia area. Two nights in Alvarovelo, 70 kilometers away. Alvarovelo was our base for those 2 days, to explore just a bit of everything this area has to offer. The Puglia or Apulia region is one of the most beautiful and picturesque areas in Italy. We stayed in a trullo, and we paid €190 per night. During our time here, we explored the center with the Trulli and other towns like Martina Franca, Ostuni, Polignano a Mare, Locorotondo, and Cisternino. But I've put together the route in a video. I recommend, if you go, to spend more days there, of course, if you can, because for us, the time was just too short, with places like Bari, Taranto, or Tranto, and many more very close by. But anyway, it's on the list to come back to with more time. As I was saying, we have a full video with all these places, with a route that might be interesting for you to add to your itinerary in Italy. This is a very personalized itinerary, since we chose places we hadn't visited in a long time, leaving out others because we've already been, or because we're saving them to visit more thoroughly in the future. Italy has so much to see that it's impossible to see everything, so this is just meant to be an inspiration. The next morning would be a day just for driving. We had 870 kilometers to go before reaching Mestre. Three nights in Venice, 870 kilometers. On this day, we would use the route as a link between the south and the north, and as we told you, we would just focus on driving without visiting anything at all, to be able to optimize our time and not arrive at night. Venice was the next stop. We arrived on the outskirts of Mestre in the late afternoon, specifically in Valcontenta. We checked in, paid €88 here, had dinner, and rested. Tomorrow, we could cross over to the island very early to dedicate 2 full days to it, since we are staying 2 nights there. Two days that would give us time to explore Venice and go to Burano and Murano. We paid €175 per night for the accommodation. Things I recommend booking in advance in Venice, so you don't miss out. Visit to St. Mark's Basilica. Visit to the Doge's Palace. We did both, St. Mark's Basilica and the Doge's Palace, in a single guided tour. It was a really good option, plus it also included a guided section through the city. It was really interesting. I'll put the link in the description. Tour, like I've said about other cities, I think it's really worth it. In this case, in Venice we didn't do it, because as I just told you, we did it on the guided tour that included the Doge's Palace and St. Mark's Basilica. And here I feel bad that I can't recommend the next thing to you, which I do recommend in the Venice video because we did it. And that's because what I think was the best viewpoint in Venice just closed at the beginning of this month, and it was free too. We're talking about the terrace of the Fondaco dei Tedeschi. When the shopping center closed, we lost that spectacular viewpoint that we were able to enjoy last September. There are lots of places to visit, tons of things to do, but the Venice video already has the entire itinerary step by step, just the way we like to do it. I highly recommend visiting Burano and Murano. They're really worth it. They're full of charm and color. If you're enjoying the video, but especially if it's helping you, we want to remind you not to forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our guides and routes through Italy or so many other countries we have on the channel. Also, give us a like and share it with friends who, just like you and me, enjoy creating their own itineraries. Let's continue. So after those 2 days of being amazed, of confirming that we liked Venice, we continued our journey to Modena and Maranello to visit the Ferrari museums and do a test drive, which we showed in a special video. We didn't visit these cities this time because, as we said, we only went there for Ferrari. I think it's a visit that's really worth it for motorsport lovers. First, we visited the Ferrari Museum in Modena, then the one in Maranello, and we finished the experience by driving a Ferrari through the streets of Maranello. There's already a video on the channel sharing the whole experience for motorsport lovers. This afternoon we're going to Pisa. One night in Pisa, 400 kilometers total between Venice and Pisa. Pisa awaits us with its leaning tower, but that's not all. To begin with, the whole monumental complex, with its cathedral and baptistery, is truly impressive. In the video dedicated to this city, we have a full explanation of how to visit these places and how to climb the tower. We stayed very close to the Piazza dei Miracoli, at a B&B in an old mansion that included breakfast and had parking inside, which was very convenient for us. We paid €150 per night. It's true that most people visit this city as a day trip from Florence, but we wanted to stay here, explore it a bit more, And that way tomorrow, we'll only have to travel 100 kilometers for our trip to Cinque Terre. Two days in Cinque Terre, 100 kilometers. We arrived in the morning at Vernazza. We drove to the Vernazza parking lot, and then from there they took us by shuttle to the village, where we had our accommodation for these 2 nights. The accommodation, nothing special to mention, just that it was spacious, had a good location, but the stairs were very, very steep. We paid €150 per night.
Thank you for the video.
Here, we're not talking about booking anything in advance, because it might sell out. But if you want to avoid long lines to get the train pass or the entrance to the Via dell'Amore, book them online. In the video, we detail all the steps that we took. Thank you for watching the video. We got the train pass and used it for all our trips between towns. Not to mention, they are beautiful. It's hard to choose one to stay in. Many people do it in La Spezia. That's also an option. But we wanted to enjoy these places both at sunrise and at night when no one is left. We were talking a while ago about travel insurance. That's another thing you can't go without. It's a requirement to enter Europe. But beyond that, honestly, they've never asked us for it. Always keep in mind that in the total travel budget, it doesn't make much of a difference. And if something happens to us, the costs can be very high. So having travel insurance, travel assistance, is extremely important. We never ever travel without one. I'll leave 2 different options in the description so you can compare what each one includes and see which one fits your needs best, whether it's the coverage amounts, age limits, and so on. And we also included discounts for these. After these wonderful days in this place, which I really recommend you look into more if you're planning to visit, we have a video with all the details. It covers train pass prices, entry to the Via dell'Amore, and more. And then we hit the road again. As dawn broke, and after the transfer took us back to the parking lot to get the car, we now had 180 kilometers separating us from Florence. Something I often don't clarify is that we get up very early to make the most of the day. We don't have a problem with that. We set our alarms early, have breakfast, and head out so we can arrive early in the cities and enjoy them. 3 days in Florence, 180 kilometers. We would arrive in the morning since we were relatively close, and we enjoyed 3 full days in the city without visiting other places, since we would tour the villages of Tuscany on other days. We started our time in Florence like so many other places, with a free tour. But since every place has its own special video with a full day-by-day itinerary, entrance fees, and distances, I won't go into explanations here. I want to go back to the recommendation I gave you in Rome regarding booking tickets. Book everything in advance because tickets sell out, but as I mentioned, the entire itinerary and advice are in a video. Which attractions in Florence should you book in advance because they're must-sees and very popular? Entrance to the monumental complex of the cathedral, dome, baptistery, and bell tower, an absolute must. Entrance to the Accademia Gallery. We did this as part of a guided tour, and it was a very good option. Entrance to the Uffizi Gallery. A guided tour can also be a good option. And as we mentioned in other cities, make a reservation for the free tour. As I was saying, I don't want to go into detail because we've already done that in a special video. So there's little I can say about a city that speaks for itself, a must-see on any trip through Italy. Here, we're just telling you that we made this stop. We spent 3 nights at a B&B near the Arno River. We paid €190 per night. Thank you. For those who are asking me about other videos we have from Italy and can't find them, the best way is to type Europa Accompagnata in the search bar, go directly to the channel, and there you'll see the full list of videos from Italy or other countries. As always, the best way is to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so YouTube will let you know about every new video we upload. It was morning. We were leaving Florence to head into Tuscany. We already have a video with a planned route in a certain order, so here we'll just mention the places where we stayed. The road unfolds among hills, cypresses, and cultivated fields. Medieval villages dot this route, and stopping in some of them is an option along the way. The route is truly charming. San Gimignano, 1 night and 60 kilometers. We arrived in San Gimignano with the idea of calmly enjoying this charming medieval town. We walked its cobblestone streets, admiring the famous towers and unique atmosphere. We decided to stay for 1 night to have the full experience and feel the magic of the place when the sun goes down and the tourists clear out. If there is one place we associate with Tuscany, it is this one, San Gimignano. As I told you, we stayed here for 1 night. It was an old period mansion. We paid €100 for the double room. The prices I'm giving you are also highly variable because they will depend on the dates you stay and also on how far in advance you book your accommodations. We hit the road again. Luckily, the scenery repeats itself, and so do the towns you can choose from along the way. That's how we would arrive in Siena. Siena, 1 night, 40 kilometers. When planning a trip through Tuscany, there are so many options that it's very hard to decide. I left you some options in a video so you can take a look, compare, and choose. Siena was one of the cities we chose to stay in. I think it deserves it. I don't know if it's often chosen as a destination in itself, but rather added as a day trip along the way. But honestly, visiting its cathedral is really worth it. Its floor, which is uncovered only on certain dates, is a wonderful work of art. Just like the Piazza del Campo, the place where the Palio di Siena is held every year. We have all the details to organize this visit in the special Siena video. Our accommodation was very close to the Piazza del Campo. We paid €110 per night. Beautiful city, but we would continue our trip early in the morning. 2 nights in Montepulciano and 65 kilometers. In the middle of these final legs of the trip, we took the opportunity to visit other Tuscan towns. But in Montepulciano, we would stay for 2 nights, so we could explore the Val d'Orcia area more calmly, since it's one of the areas that I personally like the most. Montepulciano is beautiful and has that captivating Tuscan essence, a blend of medieval town charm and wine culture. We stayed at a B&B inside the old town. We paid €95 per night without breakfast. For this and all the accommodations mentioned, I'm leaving a link in the description so you can check them out at your leisure. On this trip through Italy, we chose B&Bs much more often than traditional hotels. That's up to you to decide. In our case, it's because we generally want them to be right in the center of the historic district, so we can walk around at night too. And so most of the accommodations that show up are non-traditional B&Bs, and those are the ones we've chosen for that reason. Once we're in this area, staying as we said in Montepulciano, we can visit many places in Val d'Orcia, such as San Quirico, Pienza, Montalcino, just to name a few. But as I mentioned, we have a video with a route that follows a certain order to inspire you to plan your own itineraries. But the 2 days went by, and it was time to leave this city behind. On the way, we would pass by the Saturnia Hot Springs, a place we hadn't visited yet, and honestly, we really enjoyed visiting. It's a different kind of place. And we would head to Civita di Bagnoregio, 150 kilometers away, for 1 night. It would be our last night before returning to Rome, and we chose this village that we had seen many times in photos and which is disappearing. We arrived at Civita di Bagnoregio with high expectations, crossing the long bridge that connects it to the rest of the world. It's a place that seems suspended in time, with its stone houses, quiet streets, and breathtaking views of the valley. We decided to stay overnight to enjoy it peacefully when most visitors leave and the village regains its magical calm. Our accommodation in this village, which is almost empty, cost €68. We have a video about this city if you want to know more about its history and how it keeps eroding where it's settled, losing centimeters year after year, which dooms it to disappear. The next morning, we would leave for Rome again to stay 2 more nights and be able to visit some places or just walk through its streets. This was our itinerary for this occasion, but if you're looking for a more classic itinerary, this is the video for you.